Hi guys, today we are going to be reviewing our amendments for our U.S. History EOC STAR Test Review. On the test, you're going to need to remember a lot of the amendments we have studied this year. So we are going to start on slide 4, which has the blue bubbles on it. And these are the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, also known as the Bill of Rights. Some of you are pretty familiar with some of these, and we're also going to highlight some of the Supreme Court cases that we have studied this year that involve these amendments. So let's start dragging and dropping. The first amendment is probably the one we are all most familiar with. That's our freedom of expressions. So this is freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, right to assembly. And we do have a court case for this one. So I'm going to make a text box right here. First Amendment. And the case to remember is Tinker v. Des Moines. So hopefully that name sounds familiar. This was a high school student, Mary Beth Tinker, who she and her friends wanted to protest the Vietnam conflict during the Cold War era. And so she and her friends wore the black armbands to school, and the school suspended them for violating school rules. And through appeal, they wound up at the Supreme Court saying their freedom of speech rights, their First Amendment rights, were being violated. And the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the students that yes, their freedom of speech was being violated and they should be allowed to wear those black armbands to school. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. Third Amendment is the quartering of soldiers. The Fourth Amendment protects from unreasonable search and seizures. Police can't just search your home or search your car without reason or suspicion. The Fifth Amendment is known as the Due Process Amendment. So these are your rights of an accused person. So the right to remain silent, the right to an attorney, the rights of the accused, anything as well as eminent domain. This is also where you can't incriminate yourself on the stand. So if you ever hear someone say, I plead the Fifth, that also involves the Fifth Amendment. Our Sixth Amendment is the right to a fair trial by a jury of your peers. And so we do have a court case that we studied this year that involves the Sixth Amendment. So let's add a text box for that. The Sixth Amendment. And the court case you need to know is Hernandez versus Texas. And in this court case, Hernandez was a man on trial for murder, but his jury was made up of only white men, and he was of Mexican American ethnicity. And so the Supreme Court ruled that his conviction was overturned because he had not had a trial by his peers. Seventh Amendment guarantees a right to a jury in civil cases. The Eighth Amendment protects from cruel and unusual punishments. And the 10th Amendment protects states' rights.